Alright, guys. Let's make sure I'm in the picture correctly. Look how freshly shaven I am. Hi. What? I just work here, okay? My boss is a jackal to me. Looks good. Okay. Alrighty then. Hi guys. How you doing? Alright. Make sure everything's alright. Okay. My name is Daryl Phillips, owner of Noir Pleasure Gaming, and what we do here is listen to you talk. Welcome to a new week. We start our week today. It's Motivation Monday. So I figured I'd get on here and I'd try to get some motivating message out to you. Probably shouldn't talk like that, should I? No? Okay. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I talk about all sorts of things, and if you're interested in the things I'm talking about, just listen up, join the conversation if you want to. We talk about some serious stuff here. I talk about everything from depression to goals, work ethic, just things that will help you in your life to be a better person. I myself have bipolar disorder and PTSD, so I have dealt with a lot of stuff in my life. I've been homeless, and my story's long. And you'll find out if you're new, if you'll find out anything you want to about me, because all you have to do is ask or just listen up. I always talk about myself. I don't hide. That's part of my little game plan, which actually kind of goes into what I want to talk about tonight. Of the subjects that I ever talk about, it dawned on me today that I never ever talk about what my vision is for this, what I'm doing. Like what's the end goal? What's the end goal for the business? So check this out. The reason why I find this kind of an intriguing subject, and it's also important, is because so I'm listening today to they were talking about and I listen to a lot of politics right now. Lately I've been listening to a lot of politics. I listen to some of these politicians talk on either side of the aisle, left and right, and I listen to them talk, and you can always tell the fake people. I hate fake people. I can't stand people who are not honest and are not real people. You know what I mean? Who try to act for the camera, as it were. That's why I don't ever want to be like that. The title of this live tonight is "Live Your Life," or live your life, not just talk about it. The idea of live your truth. Okay. What do you mean by that, Daryl? Well, a lot of people will say truth, but then they don't live it. They don't live what they say. I always try to live what I say, so that you can't go, oh, well, Daryl, but you're doing it this way. No, I always, there's a quote from the Bible where he says, "Do you not hear yourself talk? When you speak, do you not teach yourself? When I speak, I teach myself. When you speak, you teach yourself, whether you like it or not." So, what I thought I'd do today is, for a good motivating message for Monday to get you guys started for your week, I figured I would give you some insight on my brain, my mind, the way I think about things, how I look at things. I'm very artistic, okay? So, like, for example, I don't have it right here. Maybe I should. Next time I get on live, I will show you guys my music, the stuff that I've written. I've written music. I wrote a symphony. I didn't finish it. I only wrote the first movement, but I did. I wrote a symphony. Um, and the same principles that I used to be artistic when I draw a person, because I also can paint. I can draw. I love doing watercolor stuff. In fact, hold on one second. You guys can't see this, but let me show you this. See, it's my art set. Got it for Christmas. Watercolors, oil paintings, stuff for charcoal, everything. I love charcoal drawings. I love drawing charcoal stuff. So anyway, the same process I use to be artistic in these things, I learned how to apply it to other things. This is what you have to do for your life. You have to figure out what you're good at, and then you have to apply it to other things that you wouldn't think about applying it to. So I like to teach also. But I don't want to teach something and be boring about it. Okay? So I don't want to teach history and be like, in 1776, the United States broke. Would y'all really listen to that? No, you wouldn't. I want to teach lessons out of things in history, teach things out of science and things like that. Teach lessons that you can apply to your life, not just the actual science. Or you'll learn science from me, or you'll learn history from me, or you'll learn about mental illness and about homelessness, about life and things like that from me. But there's other things you can learn out of that. You understand? So, when I approach a subject, take this video tonight, I have to come up with a subject. When I come on here, I have to come up with something to speak on. Well, how do I come up with that subject? Well, that's organic. I prefer to be organic because I think it comes out better, and I think that you guys probably are not so stupid that if I'm trying to force something out, which is why sometimes when I get on here, I don't talk about anything too in depth, because I'm really not talking about anything at that moment. I'm not thinking about anything at that moment, not really deep. Sometimes I can talk and get myself into the moment so that I'm able to speak on a subject. Okay? So that's how I come up with a subject, in fact. It's a very unique way of thinking about things. All right. So, whenever I get on here, the day of, okay, I usually think about all day long. I usually think about there's a mouse in the house right now, y'all. There's a little penguin mouse over there on the couch. And Sophia just came in. Anyway, so okay. So I wake up in the morning time, and I get up, and I have a couple of different things maybe I want to talk about. A lot of times I will already know what I want to talk about, but I don't want to talk about things the same way all the time. It's boring, it's not useful, and to be honest with you, it's a waste of my time, because it really is not teaching you anything. I want to think of a unique perspective on certain subjects that you never thought of. Right? I'm not Wikipedia. Okay? I'm not a dictionary. If you want to learn about bipolar disorder and the symptoms of bipolar disorder, I can discuss it with you. But it will be one video, and I will never discuss it again. Why? Because I'm not a dictionary. That's not what I'm teaching. I'm teaching you how to deal with it, how to deal with the symptoms. Okay, and I have unique ways of doing those things, of dealing with my own issues. And I especially in my past, I had so many issues. All right, so let's say take tonight. Or today, I didn't necessarily have a subject so much this morning, but I was thinking about something along these lines, okay, this morning. But as the day goes on, I listen to more and more stuff on the radio, and then I go, okay, and then something will tease my mind, and of course, Sophia, she's at work, so I'm like, oh man, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this stuff. I got something to say, and that's how it happens. That's how I come up with the subject. But that's not enough. That doesn't get it done, does it? I mean, I'm sorry, but my brain can do a lot of things. My brain can't open my mouth and speak. Okay? It helps me speak. It helps me learn how to speak. That's why you can be a baby and learn how to speak. But that's I still have to talk. Then there's the way I want to talk to you guys about it. So once I come up with the subject, there's the way I say it. So in this case, tonight, I wanted to just have a little discussion about the way I think. So you guys can understand how I think. Because there are new people that come on here that don't necessarily know me. And even the people that know me don't know me. There's only one person left. I mean, Dwan, he's passed away. There's only one person left that knows me. And that's Sophia. Well, she's not getting on camera. Sorry. She's more than welcome to come on here. But she's got a job and she kind of gets in trouble for that. But be assured, me and her just talk before these things. Okay? Don't we, Sophia? Yes. See? Told you she was here. She's a little mousy. We had an ice cream at Heath, a Klondike bar. Oh my God, oh. But do y'all follow me so far? Okay, so there's the way I want to say it. So in this case tonight, I wanted to just lightly have a conversation about the idea of vision. My vision. See, you live your life the way you live your life, and what you should be learning from this isn't necessarily to go how to run a YouTube business. That's not necessarily going to be your bag. What you should try to learn from this is how to take what you know out of your own life, right, and apply it to all sorts of things in your life, whatever that might be. It might be to your maybe you're a person that likes to go for a walk after you get off work. Maybe you're a person that likes to go for a drive. Instead of just going for a drive, use that time to do the fourth ingredient. No distractions. What's wrong with that? See, I just found you time that you didn't even think about. A lot of people just don't think like that. That's a unique and artistic way to do something that you probably didn't think you had time for. I hear it all the time. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. Yes, you do. Sorry. You play that stuff on somebody else. I don't believe that as far as I can throw that. You may not have thought about the time you have, but I'd rather do this. Well, then don't. But it's not because you don't have time then. It's because you'd rather do this other thing over here. You need to spend time with yourself to know yourself, to love yourself. I know that sounds frou-frou. I get it. Okay, I understand. I used to think everything was frou-frou that was involving that kind of thing. You know, anything that involved me looking in the mirror and having a look inside me, I didn't want to hear about it. All right. So, y'all understand basically how I come up with a live video. Now, that's a simple one. What about this business? How did me and Dwan, what made us do this? What caused us to actually, what What inspired us? More than that, how did it come together? Well, years of pain and suffering, for one thing. I would not advise the way me and Dwan did it. Me and Dwan were homeless for a long time. And y'all, I have seen things. And without getting too deep in it, I went to college. If being homeless was a college, then I graduated from Harvard. Okay. I had a rough life. Some of it my fault, some of it not my fault, but it doesn't matter. I had a rough life. I went through relationships, bad and good. I had my heart broken more times than you can imagine by everybody you can imagine. Not just from women, but from friends, family members. I had a lot of hate. When I first met Sophia, I had a lot of hate in my heart. And I'm not even saying that I didn't necessarily have the right to feel that way. The Bible says, "Be angry and sin not." You have a right to be angry when you're hurt. You have a right to be angry if you're hurt by somebody. You do not have the right to have the thoughts I did. You do not have the right to want to hurt somebody because of what they did to you. And yes, I understand the pain is so bad maybe that you feel like you want to do that, but you don't want to do that because you don't want to ruin your life. The closest I ever came to really doing something really terrible was I have one felony on my record, and that was for terroristic threats because I threatened to hurt somebody that hurt me first. And that was my response, is to make a phone call I shouldn't have made. And trust me when I tell you, I regret that. I don't even remember making the phone call. But regardless, I paid for the crime. But I was never, my violence was towards myself, you see. But check this out. I was so beat down by the time I met Sophia, it was over. My life was over. You say, well, Daryl, that can't be true. Oh, it was true. They talk about, hitting rock bottom. Well, that wasn't rock bottom when I hit. I hit sulfur, as in hell. I hit sulfur and didn't know how to get back up. I knew I had to. I knew I was going to die like that. But, I didn't know how at the time. And so all of these things were my education. The reason why I'm telling you this isn't to give some sad story about my life. This is how it all happened. But you see, before a lot of that pain and suffering happened, me and Dwan, we came up with this thought process of we wanted to help people. We wanted to teach people the Bible at the time. And because I was teaching people the Bible back then. That's how I met Dwan. And so we had this plan, okay? And we had talked about, you know how it is. What if we get an apartment together? What if we do this? Okay. But really, it was mostly, we just wanted to teach people the gospel of Christ. We wanted to teach people the Bible and bring people along and to be Christians. That's what we wanted to do. Well, life happened. Lots of things happened to me. My mother died. I met the mother of my child, the woman that I would end up threatening. Dwan would have his own personal issues, but Dwan was there when Desiree found out she was pregnant with my son. Yeah, Dwan was in the hotel, So all this stuff from life happened, and I never really fully came back. I just got worse, slowly worse. At first it was slowly, and then faster, and I started drinking hard. And then then I reached rock bottom. My sister died. My sister Jacqueline died, and that was it. That was the worst December I have ever had, ever. In 2005, before I met Sophia, 2005, that December, I was in and out. I think I was out. Okay, so I was in either a psych ward or detox the entire month. I was in detox on Christmas that year. And it was really so helpful to find out that a bunch of drunks knew more about my sister's death than I did. Really. That actually happened. That my bartender knew about my sister's death and everything because her death was on the news because it was a terrible car accident. She was 8 months pregnant. In fact, somebody else died too, one of her co-workers. But that was the end. I knew I needed to straighten up. Had no idea how to do it. Then I met Sophia, and then she picked me up like a little puppy. You obviously a little puppy, you know. And then of course you know how little puppies pee on your shoe. That's pretty much what I did for a few years after that. But over time, how she dealt with me, and this Sophia is the integral part, the ingredient, the missing piece of everything. This business would not be in existence if it wasn't for Sophia. Trust me. And you say, well, what do you mean, Daryl? Well, let me explain. Over time, as I started to change, and at first I was very codependent on Sophia. Codependent, not dependent. I'm going to do a video on the difference. It wasn't dependent. Now, I was dependent too, but I was codependent. I couldn't do anything myself. Surprised I could even wipe my own butt. So I started to change slowly though, but it was slowly. It was just slowly at first. I was still drinking hard sometimes, but then I would go sometimes without drinking. And it was awful. No direction still. Zero direction. No forward progress. I thought my artistic ability had died with my sister, had died with me not seeing my son anymore, died with, all sorts of reasons why my artistic ability I thought died. Except funny enough, except when I would get drunk. I have had so many years now to think about that aspect of things. When I would get drunk, and you know what would happen? I would start to dream again. Only when I was drunk. I started thinking about videos, things that, songs I wanted to write. But then I'd wake up with a hangover, and the rest is history. And that this thing that I would do, I would do this over, and then over, and over, and over again. And it was miserable. I stopped liking even to drink anymore because I knew it was fake. Eventually I knew it was fake. It was all fake. my want to was fake. It was caused. By the way, alcohol and drugs do not cause you to do things. That's the key on that. Until I got that through my head, I wasn't going to change that. Alcohol and drugs didn't help me imagine stuff. Alcohol and drugs didn't help me write my music. It only enhanced the thing that was already inside me. I just couldn't see it. Y'all got it? So in other words, if you're an abuser, you're going to be an abuser when you're drunk. Because the alcohol didn't cause you to go cheat on your woman. Really. The alcohol didn't cause you to go cheat on your man. You wanted to do it beforehand. It took away your inhibitions. It's the fear, the scared. Well, when I would dream, I was dreaming about things like being somebody, because I was nothing. I really was. I dreamed when I was drunk. I would dream about being famous or just being anybody but what I was. But it became fake. It was all fake. It was caused by alcohol, or it was induced by alcohol. And I realized it was fake, but I was stuck in this in between state where I knew I needed to stop, but the only time I felt good was when I was drinking. It was a problem. It was a freaking problem I had to figure out. Well, anyway, moving on to a little bit later. Then I decided I wanted to run. Then I decided I was going to try to start a website, and I was going to do what me and Dwan had already talked about, just without Dwan at that point. And I wanted to teach the Bible. Well, I thought things were going good, and then you know what happened? I almost died. 5 blood transfusions. Okay? I threw up blood, and it was awful. And, but what was even worse is, me and Sophia had a conversation at that point, and we realized that I wasn't going to be able to handle doing that stuff. And I had to accept that for the moment. I had to accept that fate. So I accepted that fate. I didn't like it, but it was for my better good for the moment. Well, anyway, as time went by, what ended up happening is I would listen to these podcasts and the radio, and I started arguing with the radio, with the podcast. I started debating the podcasts. Straight up debating them. I'd get mad too, because I knew they didn't know what they were talking about. I knew that they were just wrong about whatever it was that they were saying. And I'm like, man, I know that and I even remember saying a couple times, man, if that person was right here before me, I would destroy that person in a debate. Anyway, I would say stuff like that out of my mouth, but I knew that I couldn't do it. Then, a couple years later, Dwan started living with us. And let me tell you something about Dwan Jackson. Nicest man on the planet, but the biggest antagonist on this side of God's green earth. He loved to poke me and to get this reaction out of me, because he adored it when I got angry and absolutely annihilated someone in an argument. He just really, it was lovely for him. And I kept telling him, stop doing that. You know? Sophia's over there laughing. Sophia's over there laughing because she knows it's true. And he was like, he would be like, What? I don't do that. Liar. Liar. But he did it because he knew I was meant for more than this. That he was meant for more than this. So he pushed me and he poked me and he prodded me just like that one on the couch does. That one on the couch still pokes and prods me. But I don't want to. Daryl, do this. I don't want to. But he started living with us. And I'm not going to get into the situation, but something happened that forced us in a situation where I had to put on my big boy pants, and I had to think of a way to save the situation that we were in. All of us. All three of us. And that's when I came up with Noir Apologetic Gaming. I realized I was going to have to learn way more than I thought I was going to have to learn. But, y'all, be not mistaken, it was never my intent to get on this camera. Never. That was never the intent. It was supposed to be Dwan getting on this camera. I was supposed to be coming up with the subject matter, and I would do writing. I was going to do excuse me. I was going to be doing writing or whatever it was. But that's not how it worked out. And so I had to force myself to do it, and I did. And I think I told this story the other day. It's worth it for me to say it again. I remember this day that I was whining to Dwan, and I was venting to him, and I'm like, I don't want to be this graphics designer guy, Dwan. I just want to talk and teach, and if I'm going to do this, I just would rather do this. I don't want to be the graphic designer guy. I want to hire a graphic designer, blah, blah, blah. So all this stuff. And there is this, and anyway, so we're walking down the stairs, and there was no response to my whining, just silence, right? And I'm like, you gonna respond to me? But when I turned around, he had this look on his face. And I looked at him, I said, I'm gonna end up being the graphic designer guy, aren't I? He goes, yup. So I learned this stuff, and he learned this stuff. He learned what he needed to learn for his voice, and I learned what I needed to learn for my voice, and I've gotten better for my voice. I've gotten better for graphics design. All this stuff is self-taught, and I learned. Oops. Sorry, I was just checking my chat. I learned this stuff because I think a lot of people are very, very uneducated on things that they want to know about. I think that there's a lot of people out there that want to know about certain subjects that don't even have the opportunity to learn the whatever subjects it might be. And so they don't necessarily look it up on their own. So what I try to teach, what I've been teaching is how to self-evaluate and learn things, open your mind up. Okay, and that's the point of these videos. Now it's harder now. Dwan passed away in September because I have multiple channels. and each has a different purpose. Okay. But that's the point. That's the point to my earlier comment. There's an artistic way that I think about things, that I think I bring to the table, so that you guys can have a different point of view. Whoops. So you guys can have a different point of view, something that you never even thought of before. An artistic way of thinking. An artistic way of thinking these things. So it doesn't have to always be exact. Problem with this world is so divisive sometimes, and we attack our enemies as if they're our enemies. Just because you might have a different point of view doesn't make you my enemy. When you attack my point of view, that makes you my enemy. When you attack me, just like if I were to attack you, excuse me. Whoops. My legs get uncomfortable. My legs are really messed up, y'all. But do y'all follow me so far? So I strive and I work hard to try to find different, unique ways of teaching you guys the benefits of wanting to be better. This isn't a joke, man. None of this is a joke. This isn't a hobby. I believe in you guys. I believe in people in general. And I believe that people can change. Problem with this world is sometimes we don't believe in each other anymore. We don't. And I wish it wasn't so, but it is so. So it's Monday. I wanted you guys to hear a good message and a little story to go along with it, so you understand where I come from and how hard I work to try to help you guys understand the goodness you can have. That it doesn't have to be whatever you think. If you're one of those people that you think your life is miserable and you think your life is this way or that way, it doesn't have to be this way. It does not. It doesn't have to be that way. So, I'm going to try to work for a little bit. And I hope that you guys have a great Monday. I hope that you guys have a wonderful night's sleep. Drive safely if you're driving home, or if you're going to work, drive safely to work. Be aware of your surroundings. Be understanding of one another, not just from your perspective, but from theirs. Be understanding of yourself. You're not God. Remember, life is fleeting. You are not promised your next breath. So take now, go outside your box, and learn something new. And you never know what you may learn about yourself. And until Wednesday, may the Lord light guide you in all things. Goodbye.